Hello, and welcome back to the Okanagan Reader. I'm your host, Jim Bowering. I hope my voice sounds all right. I have a cold. Picked it up a couple of days ago when the granddaughter visited. I'm feeling better than I did yesterday before I started taking all the drugs, but I think the drugs change your voice, like they dry your throat out or something like that. So I hope my voice sounds all right, and you're not too disgusted with the sound of this introduction. Today's reading in the Quantum Shorts is Quantopia by Judy Helfrich. Judy Helfrich was born on the Canadian prairie where long stretches of nothing persisted in at least 4 dimensions. Her fiction has appeared in Nature and has also been shortlisted in the Quantum Shorts contests. The quantum concepts in Quantopia are reality, superposition, and wave function. The question in this story is, can a quantum computer find your soulmate? And can you be happy with eternal bliss? Well, let's find out. Here we go then.
Quantopia by Judy Helfrich. Listen, can you hear that? The Quantopia associate uttered the words I suspected had sealed many a deal. That's the sound of another man seducing your soulmate. I recoiled and banged into one of the empathic sculptures lining her posh office. The emo sculpt analyzed my mood and projected spikes of angst black as a bottomless well. The associate, Lena, continued her pitch, but I wasn't listening. I was preoccupied with my heart, which was threatening to explode. It had been ravaged by endocarditis, eminently treatable for those with insurance, which I had lost when I'd been sacked. Yet my ailing heart still beat with the thrill of love, not for my wife, who had transferred our assets to the evangelist she'd run away with, but for my soulmate. Quantopia had found her during my 30-day trial, my perfect match, a woman who loved only me. Or she would, if I joined Quantopia. Currently she didn't know I existed, nor would she. I was penniless and prospectless, yet Quantopia was offering me the winning lottery ticket of life. There had to be a catch, one that would slice into my dreams and eviscerate them in bloody chunks. The emo sculpts morphed into overwrought hearts and threw themselves to the floor. Otto, a little factoid. Everyone settles. For the high school sweetheart, the college girl, the girl next door. They all think they've found the one, and they're all wrong. The probability their soulmate lives within geographic proximity is minuscule. Only Quantopia can manipulate reality and find your true love. We analyze all quantum superpositional possibilities, then collapse the wavefunction of only those that culminate in an entirely real, optimized life where you'll have fame, fortune, she brought up a hollow film of my soulmate, and Menu. The emo sculpt sighed as Menu's crooked smile tugged at my soul. Lena waved the holofilm away, jerking me and the emo sculpts from my stupor. Otto, even if soulmates do happen to meet, chances are at least one of them is taken, like Menu, because this man, Lena projected a holofilm of a behemoth, a veritable escarpment of muscle and testosterone, is seducing your soulmate. The behemoth engulfed Manu and kissed her. Blood pounded against my eardrums. a percussion of jealousy that threatened to erupt through my damaged heart. The emo sculpts turned scarlet and geysered. "So, Otto, can I sign you up?" I couldn't answer. My molars refused to unclench. "Collapse the wave function, Otto. There are only two possibilities, yes or no." "The catch?" Lena waved her hand dismissively. "One tiny scratch in the paint of paradise. There's a risk you'll be caught in an infinite life loop. We need beta testers like you to help us debug." I backed away. The emo sculpts collapsed. "Otto, life has beaten you down. You'll never reach your potential without Quantopia." I turned on my heel. "Even if you do enter the loop," she called after me, "you'll have no idea you're repeating the same life segment. You won't know you're in Quantopia." I wrenched open the door. The emo sculpts flattened themselves like angry cats. "Otto, you will never be with Menu." The emo sculpts shattered, much like my resolve. The next day I reiterated my parameters to the Quantopia technicians so there could be no mistake. My memory of this appalling life would be expunged. I would have my health. I would have fame and fortune. I would have Menu. I could finally end this pathetic existence. My gallery stretched the length of a hollow ball field. Emo sculpts were the star of tonight's show and my favorite medium. They reflected my mood in their gentle prisms of light. I smiled as the last of my patrons fawned out into the night. Another successful exhibit, another bloated account, another round of critical acclaim. I yawned. Menu and I repaired to our beach house and made perfect love. Afterwards I lay awake, musing on the strange circumstance of our meeting. My private jet had ditched halfway around the globe, and I'd parachuted onto Menu's doorstep on the most remote island in the Atlantic. It was as though reality itself conspired to bring us together. Menu. She was my soulmate. I gazed at her perfect features as she slept. She'd had her crooked smile straightened. My bedside, emo sculpt, darkened. All my dreams had been realized. I was the luckiest man alive. My flawless life stretched before me, an endless oasis of prosperity and ease. I rose, strolled along the beach, and screamed. But the oceanfront emo sculpts merely rippled before resuming their amorphous calm. In the morning, I pulled up outside my high-rise in my classic car. It was a perfect, priceless antique, and I keyed the length of it. I summoned my staff to my penthouse office and explained the revelation I'd had during the night, how bravery existed only alongside fear. Success meant overcoming adversity, and hard-won love was the sweetest. I gazed at the emo sculpts flanking the walls, their surfaces unmarred, shallow as puddles. My acclaim was a constant source of bemusement to me, because art, passionate art, came to those who struggled, and struggle was what I lacked. I conceived of the most extraordinary idea. 3 years later, my brainchild Quantopia was born. My slice of reality was fed into the quantum optimizer, despite the slight risk of an infinite life loop. It was a flaw, a scratch in the paint of paradise. I thrilled at the prospect, but the laboratory emo sculpts merely flickered. I would give anything to make them erupt, shatter, feel. I reiterated my parameters to the technicians so there could be no mistake. My memory of this passionless life would be expunged. I would be penniless, prospectless, loveless, I would be brave. I would overcome. I would win Minu's love. I could finally end this pathetic existence. Listen, can you hear that? The Quantopia associate uttered the words I suspected had sealed many a deal. That's the sound of another man seducing your soulmate.